In this short presentation, we're going to show you how the dimming function built into Smart can make significant energy savings. The room that we're going to use is equipped with 3 rows of lights. Each row of lights has its own power meter, so we can see the amount of energy that is actually being used and obviously then the amount of energy that we're actually saving by dimming. Dimming can be used for 2 functions. The first is daylight link dimming. The second is a function we call maintained illuminance. So let's go in and see these functions in operation. When I entered the room, the movement detector in the first luminaire detected me and brought on the whole room of lights using motion line. All of the sensors in the room are set to maintain 500 lux. So every single light fitting has adjusted itself to maintain that light level to give us a nice working environment. However, it's a factor with fluorescent lamps that as they get warmer, so the light output increases. So, using the power meters on the wall, when we walked in and the lamps are cold, if we now check them, we've got 222, 219 and 225 watts respectively. As these lamps warm up, what we should expect to see happen is that the power is going to be dropped off accordingly as the light output increases. So let's now give it just a couple of minutes and come back and see the result. The lights have now been on for a couple of minutes, the lamps have warmed up and the light output has consequently increased. Let's see what's happened now to the power consumption. The first row, 163 watts. The middle row, 154. The third row, 155 watts. We've reduced the power consumption from 220 to roughly 160. A 25% decrease in energy consumed, but we've maintained the same light level. This is maintained illumination in action. Smart luminaires can also dim in response to daylight. Now there is a school of thought that says we only really need to apply daylight dimming to the row of light fittings closest to the window. However, what we're going to try and do here by simulating daylight entering this space is to show that there are benefits across the whole room and they can be quite significant. So let's now simulate daylight entering the room. First of all, we notice that the luminaires do not respond very rapidly. Response to daylight changes is done gradually so that the users don't perceive any change in the output from the light fitting above them. However, if we look at the power meters, we can see that we're making significant energy savings. The row closest to the window has dimmed down to 73 watts. The middle row is now at 146. The inner row is at 109. What we're seeing is a significant change in the power consumption of the luminaires across the whole room. The reason why the inner row is at a much lower level is because we have a very white environment, and so the light is entering the room, bouncing off the inner wall, and is giving us a much higher daylight reading on the inner row than it is on the middle row. A smart installation has one sensor built into every single fitting. Now this has a number of advantages. First of all, it really simplifies the installation. The installer has only got to wire in the luminaires, hasn't got to worry about installing additional sensors and the cabling between them. Secondly, it means that the daylight dimming is not compromised. If we were to fit one sensor in the centre of the room, it could be that we would not be getting maximum benefit on daylight dimming from the row closest to the window. Also, if we take as an example this particular situation where the window is only benefiting 2 of the 3 luminaires in the row closest to the window, we can see that 2 of the luminaires have dimmed down because of daylight. The third one is still at a comparatively higher level. Hence, having a sensor in every single fitting maximises the benefit of a smart installation. So we've looked at the dimming functionality of Smart. We've looked at the way in which maintained illuminance can maintain the light level that we require and make a significant energy saving. We've also looked at the way in which the Smart sensors can provide dimming based upon daylight that affect not only the row closest to the window, but also have benefits across the whole room, producing maximum energy savings.